we will see.
Yeah.
We will see.
I've written a lot of stuff today, and I think it's really important that the world knows what I have to say.
I agree. I definitely agree.
I think who went live, I don't honestly know. There's a problem with the server, apparently. Hey, look, we're live.
Problem with the interwebs.
Yeah, look, we're live. This has been removed by the uploader.
Oh,
hey, that's us.
Did I do it dumb?
Oh
yeah, it said twice for each time.
So yeah, so
there
welcome.
Here's the third.
Welcome back in. If you're just joining us again, I think that we're live again.
There we go. Yep.
Right? Yeah. 20 seconds ago, we're here. There's nothing interfering because the internet doesn't suck. Thanks, Gideon. You can see us. Awesome.
Yay,
I cannot see the chat box. I feel like it worked last week.
It did work last week.
You know what? I don't even care. Notifications were live.
Yes.
Cool. Yay.
Cool.
So the internet has been complete garbage. Partially last night when we were on a stream with somebody, we were doing our first book club, starting off with that with the review of Bart Ehrman's newest book, Heaven and Hell, and the internet was not doing well there. You can find that over on the Raging Atheist, or just called The Rage now, I think. There's Gideon's chat. Thank you so much. Richard said attempt number 3. It was only
it went live twice.
Yeah, for whatever reason it went live twice. We didn't tell it to do that. The internet has been just
kind of awful.
Yeah.
It's been
not
kind
great.
of awful today.
Not great. But we are here. And that's what's most important. But again, you can see our first review, our first book club last night. That's over on the Rage channel, Raging Atheist. I forget what Nakasushi wants to call it. But tonight, we're very excited because I have something that I have been wanting to say. And that's going to be here in a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I'm very excited for that.
Yes. And then so tomorrow? Are we on? No, that's Parks and Rec tomorrow.
Parks and Rec is
Friday we're on Atheist Roundtable. And then Saturday we are on Daily Atheist. So it's a really busy next few days we've got there as well. So very, very excited for all of that. And I don't know what else to plug or anything. I don't think we have anything else. Do we? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I've been doing all the sharing and stuff. There's the chat. Yay. Hi, chat.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I saw that.
How are y'all doing?
I mean, you can watch it again, Richard. Anyways, what do we have in the news?
In the news.
I don't know the answer to that.
So
I didn't read it.
The news is going to be relatively short this week because Nathaniel does have a very, very important piece.
I forgot.
What?
We told an inadvertent fib last week. Oh, real quick, when we started the first stream, were any of you in here when it was just the intro screen with the logo and music in the background? Because that's important, and I'll continue talking because I know there's a delay. But we said that we'd be in a different. Is that your chair?
Yes.
Okay, her chair.
It does a lot.
Oh, I still need to fix that.
Yes.
We said we'd be in like a different type of a setting, and we're not yet.
Not quite.
Reason
I
for
mean,
that?
it's mildly different.
Yes. I have a chair.
He does have a chair.
That arrived. So our setup was delayed until the 9th of May. And so we canceled that. And you heard the music with the background. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that you could actually
that's important.
hear it, that you could hear it fairly well.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah, that is very important. Thank you for that. But we now have our new stuff arriving this week.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm stoked.
If the gods are in our favor or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
It has not been the most fun. It's been fun, but it has not been the easiest transition up to Oregon.
Yeah.
And it's been great up here. We haven't been able to experience much, but it's still been better than Dallas-Fort Worth.
That is incredibly true.
Yeah.
No truer words have been spoken
Not yet
in
today.
this world.
All right. Susan, what you got? News.
So, yes, we have some relatively short news. We don't have a ton of stories this week, just because Nathaniel does have a very, very important piece that he is going to be doing. So we are bringing you an update on Tony Spell.
Tony!
Because everything is about Tony Spell lately, right? So we brought you the news last week that Tony Spell was arrested for nearly running someone over with a passenger van.
Church
Actually,
van.
he, from what I understand, he either was arrested or turned himself in. I think he was arrested.
Yeah, he was cited, yeah.
Yeah. He, of course, posted bail and was released, but apparently it was on the condition that he would be under house arrest. With the, of course, condition of his release that he, quote, refrain from any and all criminal conduct, including but not limited to strictly abiding by the emergency orders issued by the governor of the state of Louisiana. And that's Louisiana. And that's not such a bad thing, considering that Spell has been holding services in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic and risking people's lives in order to do whatever the hell it is that he does. As is no surprise to anyone on the face of this planet, Spell violated his house arrest this past Sunday in order to do his whole pastor thing.
Yeah.
Thing. So Spell actually preached with the ankle monitor firmly strapped to his leg, making comments talking about how, quote, it's a dirty, rotten shame when you're hiding in America. I mean, you're not really hiding because you are literally, out in public violating house arrest. And even if you don't do that, even if, you can still hold church services online.
Yeah.
Plenty of places are doing that. They are adapting.
Yeah.
Doing great.
Yeah, that wouldn't fit his persecution complex.
No, of course not. We have more about persecution in the next story. So even though Spell was planning on turning himself in after the church service, was just goes to show that he knew what the fuck he was doing was wrong.
Yep.
The DA's office actually decided not to pursue the matter after an officer in Baton Rouge was fatally shot and another was injured in a matter that was ultimately and rightfully deemed to be a better use of resources. Sadly, though, as of right now, a judge has not issued a warrant for Spell's arrest, so he's basically gonna keep doing his whole law-violating thing.
Yeah. Special treatment for churches.
Of course. Yeah, that's how it goes. And that house arrest order requires him to stay on his property, and it doesn't really do a ton of good, because his house is about 50 yards from the church.
Yeah. So I think that's still on his property.
I'm pretty sure. I was going to say, I think he actually just considers it part of his home.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
So he probably just thinks, no, this is fine. It's not a big deal. This is my home. It's fine. So even better, this is the best part of this, which is actually a little ironic, I guess. I don't know if it's his definition of irony. I'm like Alanis Morissette. I don't know. So even though Spell is still holding services, he's actually told congregants to stay home if they're sick and to refrain from touching each other if they do come to the service. So basically, don't get sick, stay home if you are, but feel free to come to church if you're an asymptomatic carrier, and don't seem like you're sick, because that's never been an awful idea, right? Typhoid Mary isn't a thing or anything. So a little extra that's not in this article that I actually saw earlier on a different, I think it was on the Friendly Atheist, I'm wanting to say. Apparently, oh yes, I love that guy. He's great. So apparently phone lines at the Central Police Department have been flooded with calls after Spell's own mother posted the phone number for CPD on her Facebook page and encouraged people to call and voice their support for Tony Spell. Support. They're basically just flooding the phone lines and preventing the police from actually getting anything done.
Yeah. Like...
Clog up lines.
Yeah, because they... Blue Lives Matter. No, I'm saying.
I mean, of course.
Blue Lives Matter.
Yes.
Also, this is great. This is my March for Our Lives shirt.
I like it.
Yeah, this is what I wore.
Shirt.
I wore at the rally.
Yeah.
And a little, walking downtown Dallas. That was cool. That was, wow, it's already been like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Your photo and my contacts on my phone is you from that march.
I have my backpack on and
the
sunglasses.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
It's a good photo. I like it.
Thanks.
All right.
Or was it 2018? I think it was 2018. Yeah, it was 2018. It was March or something. No, it was February 14th, 2018.
Ah.
Yep, there's me.
I like it.
Blue Lives Matter.
All right. Moving on, and finally, because these are the only two we got. So what I would ask the sarcastic question of who actually partakes in cyber attacks anymore, but
The Russians.
Yeah, the Russians, obviously.
The president requests it.
He does on a regular basis. So considering that the law firm that I work for literally had to deal with this a couple months ago, I can't really go into too terribly much detail. I can't really talk too much shit, but that does not mean that I'm actually giving any of this any credence. So
That's
David
good.
Platt is a pastor in Virginia who runs the Secret Church and is the actual pastor at McLennan Bible Church. He had organized an event with said Secret Church that was supposed to happen this past Friday and supposedly would attract over 50,000 attendees from all over the world, and was designed to go into great detail on how Christians relate to the government. And as Fox News put it, God, government, and the gospel, because they love alliteration.
They forgot the guns.
They did. Oh,
How could you forget guns?
Right? Oh, how could you forget
Just
guns?
Second
Fox
Amendment
News?
right to kill people.
I am disappointed. So
Yokinot. I can't say your name, dude. Sorry. Welcome in. Go ahead.
So now, what exactly is Secret Church, you might ask?
I would.
Yes, I'm glad.
I would ask.
I'm glad you have asked that, because it is basically pay-per-view for Christians who don't feel like finding free church services on YouTube. Hell, you can find nifty shit on YouTube, so they're just either not trying very hard or they really like this guy. I don't know if he's compelling. I haven't watched any of his stuff, but I have a feeling he's not. So Platt still recorded the 6-hour-long segment, and I use that word in sort of a smart-ass manner, and it's currently available for viewing at $12 a pop. In a promo for the event, Platt said, quote, "We obey our government unless it requires us to disobey our God. We must obey God rather than men." Let me tell you, I found multiple Bible verses that go against that, from both Old and New Testament.
Yeah, I feel like Jesus didn't agree.
So we've got Romans 13:1, 1 Peter 2:13-15, Luke 20:25, and Titus 3:1. Those were just 4 of them that I found.
There you go.
Because I knew somebody was going to say, well, that's not what it says in the Bible. And I'm like, yes, it does.
Good
It says
job.
it.
Look at that. Scouring
I
the
knew.
Bible. I'll give you kudos for that.
Thank you. I knew that if there was anybody who would appreciate it, it would definitely be you. So, of course, the Fox News article goes on to talk about Christian persecution with numbers that come from what they call a watchdog group. Which, you know, if Fox News is calling someone a watchdog group, they have got to be super kooky.
Well,
I mean,
allegedly.
Allegedly. You can say anything you want as long as you say allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm not one to dismiss actual persecution where it's happening, of course, like to Christians in Iran, Egypt, and Nigeria, but this is definitely not an actual case of persecution. This is just a case of someone forgetting to renew their domain.
Really?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It's entirely speculation. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
There's no fucking persecution.
No, it's not. Because, you know, it's going to go from this was a cyber attack to this is, you know, this is a cyber attack on us because we're a church to this is, you know, everything is anti-Christian because it's all persecution related. And it's like, please stop. Just please stop.
Oh, it is. It's so much persecution. There's so much persecution against Christians in the United States.
There really are.
I just can't think of any. You know, I just like there's like I don't know. I'm trying to let me see. Hold on. Let me try to think of something. I would say persecution against Christians.
In the United States specifically. You got anything for me? Is this a big old goose egg?
I'm trying to think of some actual persecution here.
Oh, okay. Actual not just in the United States.
No, in the United States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's what they got. They got this myth of persecution, this persecution complex, which as I was going over last night, is not rooted in history. Yeah, no, you know what? I can't think of anything. I know that there are people that are persecuted. Oh, you know what? They were forced to like bake a cake for a gay couple. Persecution.
They have been forced to not go to church services based on statewide mandated stay-at-home orders, and that is serious persecution.
Well, now it is important to note they can go to church services. They just have to be online, or with your family in your home. Yeah. So don't take us out of context, you dicks. I don't think many Christians watch this.
There's also like you just can't have the gatherings of so many people or more. I don't know the exact numbers because I know it varies based state to state. But they have prohibited gatherings of like
some of them are 10, some of them are 50.
Yeah.
Usually it's around 10 though.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah. All right. So that is gonna do it for the news this evening. And now we are you have the
Yes, I do.
Delgato.
So let's see, make sure that this is right there. You go. I'm gonna hand you that. Thank you so much.
And actually, take that back really quick so I can take off my.
Yeah, I was
take these bad boys off.
I was gonna make sure you did that before you went over.
Before it was like, and then pull off the.
You see, you can't do that. There's wire. Hit wire. Hold on, let me just put it. I'm gonna pick it back up.
Well, I was gonna say, let me unplug myself.
It's gonna make a noise. See, this is what it's like. We don't have a fucking desk.
We will get this figured out eventually.
Gonna have it on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love how we have just like no rug, and so every little noise it sounds like a fucking bomb going off. All
right.
Yeah, remind you. So no, I no, there's no biblical persecution, Richard. So carry on. I recently had a rather short conversation, which didn't go the way I'd wanted or hoped it, and I haven't, or I suppose, or haven't had, or I suppose one could say haven't wanted to have the opportunity to attempt to restart the dialogue. Even so, I felt the need to ensure my thoughts were communicated properly. This past Sunday night, while sitting in my brand new office chair and with my partner next to me, I had a light bulb moment. We have a YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel has a weekly deep dive segment, which is literally made to provide in-depth information on various subjects. So we decided, and I am overjoyed that she agreed, to push our next segment on the controversy in Hawkins, Texas back a week. So that's coming back. If you enjoyed that content last week and you're ready to get into some crazy ass shit, that's coming next week.
Yes.
So that I can speak on this week's subject, the historicity of Jesus. So I've been an atheist for about a decade, but have not really waded into the historicity of Jesus conversations because it never really mattered much to me. Now, Jesus could have existed, but that's rather mundane, as I would say. It's the supernatural stuff that mattered, not the mundane. I avoided these conversations until last year when I decided to really dive into the subject. And it was then that I discovered a lot of atheists don't think Jesus ever existed. Digging deeper, I found most of those same people don't know why they hold that belief. I must ask, is that proper skepticism? Or is it easier to be able to hand wave away Christianity by stating Jesus was just a myth? Based on comments I've read and people I've spoken with and videos that I've watched, I have come to the conclusion that for the most part, it is the latter. I say this because while straddling the fence, and by the way, as I wrote that earlier today and went over it again and again, I kept looking at it and seeing another corner of my eye while I straddled the face over and over again. And I was like, well.
You're like, that's not right. Oh, wait, yes, it is.
I had the view most atheists do regarding some of the legendary or mythical claims of the life of Jesus, namely that of the so-called dying and rising gods. This past October, Dean Meadows and I met at Rogers State University in Claremore, Oklahoma, to debate the resurrection of Jesus. Now, spoiler alert, probably not. He probably didn't rise from the dead. Just letting you know. Now, in my opening statement, I mentioned various gods and goddesses who had supposedly died and risen from the dead. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was only speaking that which I had been told, not that which I had researched. That was a mistake. And while my interlocutor did not capitalize on it, I now use it as a personal example of the necessity to study. So, mythicism, and I'm using the term most commonly used in common parlance, is not a new phenomenon. I'd like to thank Chris Hansen for providing me a quick reference on the history of mythicism, and I'm going to quote them here. Historically, much of what we find in critical studies of mythicists, especially the more respectable highbrow ones,